Well, the big Spider-Man mystery has been answered. Now, we don't know if it's a multiverse story, we don't know if it's a street level story, and we don't know who the villain is, but we do know who is going to direct the next upcoming Marvel Studios Spider-Man film. And it's a pretty familiar name. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about who's picking up the reins of the Spider-Man franchise and why, based on his last Marvel movie, I think this is an awesome pick. Well, as many of you know, Jon Watts signed on to pick up the next Spider-Man movie shortly after the last Spider-Man trilogy wrapped up. But since then, a lot has happened. He also was set to direct the Fantastic Four, but after the huge success that was Spider-Man No Way Home, he decided to step away and work on other projects, probably because the bar was absolutely so high. Now, since then, we've been wondering who could pick up the reins and take on the Spider-Man franchise, and now, according to The Hollywood Reporter, we have a director. And it's not his first Marvel film. Now, according to THR, the one and only Destin Daniel Cretton will indeed direct Spider-Man 4 for Marvel Studios. Now, if you're a Marvel fan, you probably recognize this name because he was set to be the director of Kang Dynasty and also brought to life Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which quite honestly is one of my favorite Marvel films post-Endgame. Now, according to the same report, Cretton plans on bringing in some fresh blood to this iteration of Spider-Man. Tom Holland is still set to star and will be co-produced by Sony and Marvel Studios, but there's definitely going to be some new faces on the creative side. Now, one thing that's super unclear is some of the other characters that could or could not be returning. Most people are assuming that Zendaya will return as MJ, along with Jacob Batalon as Ned, but neither one of those castings have been solidified as of right now, so we probably want to take all of that with more than a little bit of a grain of salt. Now, according to that same report, Chris McKenna and Eric Summers are back on script duty, with Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal set to produce. Now, it appears Spider-Man is going to get moving really fast, because in that same report, they said that it's not running, not crawling, it's full steam ahead, and is absolutely going to shoot in early 2025, meaning we will see the film in 2026. Now, honestly, Cretton directing this film is something that I really am excited about. Shang-Chi had some of the best action in Marvel history, and that was within the confines of that character and his sort of newly refreshed mythos. Putting Destin on this project is a big win, and I highly suspect he's been working much closer with Marvel Studios behind the scenes since they picked him up to do Kang Dynasty and all that got shuffled around. Now, the big question for me is, since he left Kang Dynasty last November, how long has he been associated with the Spider-Man gig? He has been working on Wonder Man, that's coming to Disney+. But at this point, between Shang-Chi, Wonder Man, Spider-Man, and his Avengers film that didn't manifest, it seems like the relationship between Marvel Studios and this particular director is really good, and I would expect him to stick around for a while. Now, right now, he's working on a live-action adaptation of Naruto and the sequel to Shang-Chi, so it's pretty unclear how Spider-Man is going to affect those projects, but if Spider-Man is going into production early next year, I can't imagine a sequel to Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings will come until after that's done. I do expect that particular character to appear in Secret Wars and probably Doomsday. He's way overdue for a return, and I really wouldn't mind him guest starring in all kinds of other projects. We just haven't gotten any updates or indication that Simu Liu has suited up since then, and despite how anxious he is to return to the character, nothing has happened yet. Obviously, we're going to follow Spider-Man 4 really closely. This is huge news for Marvel Studios and the franchise. I am wondering if he's going to return for potential 5 and 6, but right now, we finally have a name attached to direct, we've got some writers, and the web slinger is about to take off again. Something for fans to be excited about.